guys, how you doing? It's Henry. I'm Motors and Blows. Welcome to another video. It's the first tractor video I've got for 2025. As you know, recently I picked this up for free. Free! For free! That's right, free. Over in Dix Hills, about 10-15 minutes away from here. Old guy gave it to me. Holy shit. It's a little tough. Direction, why I'm pushing it. Here, I'll show you. Oh, how much room I have. Here's the 230, right? Engine seems locked up. Change the front left tire. Brought it home. I haven't done anything to it. All I know is the left front wheel is off the bead. I'm probably just going to replace that wheel with another one that I have in the shed. And I found out early on that it seems like the engine's locked up. The guy said it ran last year and he just put it away for storage and it didn't start this year. Battery is good. We tested it. We have a key. I cranked it. There's no crank. There's no clicks. There's nothing. Almost like the fuse is blown or something, or it's a solenoid issue, or a ground issue. Might be one of those things. But first thing we have to do is find out why the engine's locked up. Because if the engine's locked up, we don't need to pump up the tires or do anything extravagant like that. You got to make sure that engine's good. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to find out why this engine's locked up and how we're going to unlock it. So I tried turning it with my hands before, you know, on the top, won't move. So I'm going to try to get to the lower double stack pulley for the mower deck and just get these channel locks and put it around and see if we can turn it. Yes. Cracked it. Now it appears to be spinning. Well, that was an easy unlock, huh? There we go. And it's got compression, so we knew that there is a connecting rod, and it's not broken because I feel compression. Looking at the harness attached to the starter all the way to the ignition switch, there does not appear to be a fuse, which is very unusual. You almost always have a fuse. And even on this side, we do not see a fuse. It's just lights to another harness, but there's no line for a fuse. And MTDs hide their solenoids in the back where the battery compartment is. Let's go take a peek there. You're not going to be able to get to that area without taking the battery out. Let's crank it again. Let's see what happens. Nothing. I have nothing. Oh, there we go. It's the PTO. The PTO lever wasn't all the way back. All right, we're making some quick progress here. Engine is unlocked and we got the engine to crank because it was definitely the PTO. You need to push this PTO lever all the way back so that it engages the safety switch, right? And then it cranks. So it has gas in it, right? I almost guarantee you it's going to be, the carburetor is going to be dirty. It's not going to start, but let's try. I mean, it's a good battery, it appears. Now this clutch brake cable, pedal, it goes all the way forward. Like, you know, I gotta like scoot forward. Well, that's because I'm short. All right, let's see if it starts. I'll hold this damn thing back. What's that problem? That problem is the valves. Because it gets to the compression stroke and it won't turn over easily. It doesn't go. It goes. That's because the valves are out of whack. Or It could be the decompression release, which is the ACR, automatic compression release, the little lever that allows for easy cranking on the camshaft. If that's blown, it'll do that. But actually, if that's blown, it'll do way worse than that. This actually at least rotates to the compression stroke and then pauses for a second. So I think the valves are just out of whack. So it's probably not going to start unless I fix that. And the way this hood is, from what I remember, the MTD hoods, it's not as easy as tilting it and lifting the hood off. It's like a whole bunch of stuff you got to do to get the hood off. Should we do the valves without taking it off, or should I just try some more? Let me try some more. The parking brake on. Yeah, so there's something jiggly about this. Well, how about that? We've got a running, starting lawn tractor. This thing is a little jiggly, right? And also when I put the shift gear into reverse, it would want to stall. So that's the reverse in operation mode. It doesn't want you to mow while it's in reverse. Even though the PTO was not engaged, it didn't want to go reverse without stalling. But then messing with this and then putting it into reverse, it did go into reverse until I jiggled this again and it wanted to stall. So you got safety switch problems with the PTO as well as the reverse in operation mode. But engine seems to start now without doing the valves. We will do it, but I'm glad that we were able to see that the engine does run, surprisingly, because if it sat for a whole year with gas in it, it seems to run pretty well. So I'm really surprised at that. I'm stoked, actually. All right, so it won't start again without jiggling this. All right, now it's locked up again. But we know it's the switch here. It's the reverse in operation mode on the other side, and now it's locked up again. And now it won't even click. Alright, we're gonna have to unlock it again, but I mean, that's great. I told you, this is gonna be an easy fix. Why does it get locked up like that again? it's locked up. Alright, that's got it. I don't know why that gets locked up like that. I think that has to do with the valves. You guys saw what I did. I jacked up the front of the tractor. I put ratchet straps around the tire, compressed it so that the sides would move towards the bead, and try to close it. Put one leg here while I pried that way outward with my other two hands while putting air in. It did grasp, and I released the ratchet straps, and now this front tire is inflated. However, I do hear a leak though, so I think this will deflate pretty quickly. Maybe some ATF or some Fix-A-Flat will, you know, at least kind of seal the bead area. I mean, I'm sure there was like debris and stuff in between it, which is why. And it's also tremendously dry rotted, but I wanted to at least see whether or not it would inflate, and it does. So let's just hope it stays there for a minute. I removed this muffler shield. It was kind of a pain. Two 3/8 bolts holding it together. I had to remove the headlight modules because there's no quick disconnect, which is a stupid design. Should be a quick disconnect so that you could take the hood off. The hood was easy to take off. It was a tilt to the angle and lift, but I had to take the light bulb modules out so that it would be away from here. Otherwise, you could just let the hood just sit there attached, but you know why. So taking off the muffler shield, you can see the 3/8 bolts that hold the valve cover on, and we're going to do a valve lash because that seems to be what hinders us to get reliable starts. I mean, also the safety switches, but you definitely have to do a valve lash on this because it appears everything is stock, never been taken off before. So I bet you we've never had a valve lash done on this since factory. Now there's going to be some Earl that leaks down. I better get something. A piece of cardboard on the bottom just so you don't trash your driveway. Not that my driveway is anything to look at, but you gotta try to do what you can, you know. Put this cloth over here. You guys know what this is? This cloth, I have like 1,000 of them. You fathers should know. If you've had a baby, you should know what this design is. Every universal hospital in America has this swaddle blanket. Well, pretty dry, pretty good condition gasket, and it looks stock. It's a little thin, but it's all right. Doesn't leak. So we have to get this to top dead center. Wow, this is pretty loose, and we don't even know where we're at here. So I'm going to take the spark plug out, and we're going to, holy cow. The spark plug was barely in there. It's like super loose. I could turn it with my fingers, but not enough to get it out with my fingers. I'll show you. All right, so this is what it looks like, right? For you guys who have never done a valve lash before, valve adjustment. There's some, there's a valve cap on top that holds here. Don't lose those. Sometimes you open this up and the valve cap is like sitting there, you know, and that's the difference between, you know, like 20 thousandths or something, and that'll throw it off completely. But they're still there. But even though we don't even know if this is on top dead center on the compression stroke, it's still really loose, so I'm pretty sure it's out of whack. But anyway, here, look at that. I mean, I can't exactly turn it with my hands because you don't have good leverage, but look, you can kind of turn it. I still need to go find a socket to get that out. Ow! I had a boo-boo from the other day, putting my shed together. It's not bad. There's no fouling or carbon buildup. I mean, maybe a little, but that's pretty good, surprisingly. It's Champion. RC12YC. It's good to go. Don't need to replace that. There's nothing wrong with it. This is the way I do it. Other people do it different ways, but I stick a screwdriver in there and I turn the flywheel until it's all the way to the top, and when I feel it about to go back again, that's the top, it's all the way out. Right there, I can feel it. Now it's going to go back down. There you go. Back again. There's a little groove right there. Now if this is super loose, then it's the right one. If it's tight, it's the exhaust stroke, and it's tight, see? So this is, we have to go another 180 degrees to make sure it's on the compression stroke. We'll push back out again now, 180 degrees later, as it just did. And we're at the groove. That's it. That's the compression stroke, top dead center. This should be loose now. See? Now we have to figure out, let's see. This is the intake. So the aluminum, there's an aluminum push rod here, and then a steel rod over here. The steel one is always for the exhaust because it's super high temperatures, whereas they want to save weight, so they use the aluminum one for the intake. So the bottom one's going to be 4 1,000ths, the top one's going to be 6 1,000ths, and basically from the specifications in the Briggs & Stratton manual for single cylinder engines, right? It's 5 to 7 on the exhaust, and it's 3 to 5 on the intake. So I just take the middle number, 4 and 6 always. That's me, and I've never had any problems. I've got these super old feeler gauges. I never know which is which. Obviously you can feel 4 is here, 6 is here. I leave these 2 out because I know that I always use them. So the 4 is here, right? We're going to do 4 on the bottom. So let's see the spacing between the valve end and the rocker arm, and it's super loose. See what I'm saying? And then the 6 on the top, it's super loose. So we're going to have to tighten both of these. So what you need is, you're going to need a Torx thing for the middle nut, if you will, and then a wrench to hold the outside. 10 millimeter here, okay? So sometimes person who last did this didn't tighten the Torx on the center too tight, so you could actually get away with just turning it, and you can. And look, now it's tight. You want it to grab, kind of. That's about right. Okay, now look, see, now it's like it's stuck. You know what? It still moves. So I think that's good enough. And then, of course, if you wanted to tighten it, you hold this in place, right? Hold it in place, and then you tighten the inner Torx. All right, so the top is done. That's the exhaust, 6. Let's do the bottom 4. As you can see, super loose. We'll just see if we can get away with just turning this without breaking anything. Oh, see, you can move it. A little bit more. We're talking smidgens, very little, turning it very little. It's under some pressure, some torque, so you're only allowed to turn it a little. Sometimes a little is all you need. There we go, that's super tight, see? Can't even move it, it's stuck. So I'll back out again, a little. All right, now it's moving, see? I mean, it's a tight grip, you know what I mean? But now you know it's at 4. You know this is at 6. 6, 4, both tight. Well, now I could just do a little more. Oh, that's tight. There you go. See? You want it to grab, but not super tight. So that's 4, and that's 6. Yep, it's tight.
That's what she said.
that's good. I mean, I want it like that. So now the valve adjustment is done. It's just that easy. You just have to know the specs, that's all. And we just put the valve cover back on again. It didn't leak before, so sometimes I would put like some RTV silicone over this, but look, it's good shape. Just pop it back on again. You can do it upside down or right side up, overhead valve. Some people have it upside down, but it doesn't matter. It's all symmetrically same. Spark plug back in again. This time we'll tighten it. Spark plugs in, torque down, ignition coil wire, boot first, here click. And we're not going to put that muffler cover on yet because we want to make sure it runs right. We still have to figure out now the safety switches for why it doesn't consistently start on key on, because of the safety switches for the PTO as well as the it's just a PTO. Let's check the oil real quick again, and it is halfway to the add line, so it needs some. Got some Lucas Oil SAE 30 Plus motor oil, conventional, and this takes about 1.2 quarts. So being that it was at the add, I don't want to overfill it, otherwise you're going to get oil coming out of the carburetor or the breather. Let's see if it reliably cranks now and starts. First, just try turning it. Alright, it does. Choke. Sure the stator is working correctly and charging. If it's over 12.6, it's good. 13.35. So this is definitely charging the battery, which is great. Let's go for a ride. Those in reverse. that's idle. Yeah! Yeah! Here we are, riding around another free tractor. First one in 2025. Got the engine unlocked a couple of times. Did a valve adjustment. Put air in the tires, put one tire back on the bead again. That's all we did so far, and here we are. We added some oil, and it runs really well. I do have safety switch problems. Well, I have to jack up like the rear of the tractor, kind of look upwards to see where those levers are going, like the PTO lever, or I could simply just bypass it. It's easier for me if I just bypass it, but sometimes people don't like buying tractors that don't have the safety switches. Let's see if the PTO works while I'm driving. Everything works as it should. Now. So when I want to go in reverse, I got to jiggle this a little bit, and then it goes in reverse. So I got to disconnect the switch that goes to this. The PTO safety switch. That's going to be a problem. Everything else seems like it's okay, as long as it goes in reverse, you know what I mean? See if it starts up real quick again. And now it won't start. This thing, I got to figure out what switch goes to this. That we can't have that. That causes a lot of problems. So I replaced the hood, put the light bulb modules back, zip tied the wire to the hinge over here. I also jacked up the wheel in the front again. I put ATF in it. I tried to fix a flat, but it didn't work. The fix a flat sucks. I put ATF in here, and looks like it's stopped the leak. Amazing. Also, this thing was really wobbly, and it looks like it's just this screw here that's loose. Holds the tower. Much better. It's still a little wobbly, but at least it's not going up and down, you know? Okay, so my phone died, so I had to start doing this without the phone. I had to remove the battery so I could see what's going on. This thing here, when you do that, it pushes down the switch on the safety. It's a little jiggly, and that's why, but that's not the problem. The problem is when we have it running, when we put it in reverse, it stalls because it senses that you have the blades on, even though you don't, but we have trouble getting into reverse and just to go in reverse because it wants to stall. So under here, and I only found this out because I took the battery out. I pulled the wire off the safety switch for this shifter, and I just coiled it around some other things. So it's just one ground wire attached to a tab on the safety switch of this mechanism. So I unplugged it, that's it. That's all you did. Unplugged it, and now the reverse in operation thing is bypassed. So now, when you start it, it goes in reverse and forward, no problem. I'll show you. So sometimes it doesn't start. You have to just jiggle this a little. Now it all works. It's perfect. So picked this up for free the other day, did the valves, put ATF in the tire, removed the wire for the reverse in operation safety switch, so now it goes forward and reverse without it stalling. Carburetor miraculously seems to be super clean because it runs great. We tested the battery, good battery, stator charges it just fine, went around the block in this thing. Pretty easy fix. Although we had to unlock the engine a couple of times, it hasn't had that problem since we did the valves. So I think the valves had something to do with it. Something was caught with the push rods and the rocker arms, but that we did an adjustment, it was super loose. Everything seems to be just fine. Lights work, put everything back together again, tightened up the tower to the dash. So the mower's in rough shape. Cosmetically, right? So I'm gonna wait until it gets warmer before I turn on my water pipes, and then I could pressure wash it, put ATF around it so it has a nice sparkling shine, fix that seat a little bit, some other stuff. Maybe I'll replace this tire. I'm gonna wait a few days to see if this holds air. Has white walls, but you can see very dry rotted. So it could use new tires. But once I get this up to spec again, make it presentable for pictures and to sell, I'll probably ask 800 and take as low as 500. It is the spring, so you never know. But it seems to run pretty good, pretty reliably now. Safety switches are fixed. Now, we only bypassed the reverse in operation. All the other safety switches are still there. Hope you guys enjoyed our first lawn tractor pick and fix for the year of 2025. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can give you small engine content like this one. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys next time. Mowers and blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.